So hi everyone and welcome to today's coaching call. Very excited to address all the queries and to meet you all again. But I want to primarily start today's call by asking you guys to celebrate yourself and celebrate your wins. Even if it's a super small win, it might seem small to you, it might already be big, and it might be a big win too. So no win is small. It's important that whatever you're doing, you appreciate yourself and whatever results you're getting, even if it's better shares, better saves, or just getting up and doing the work, or implementing something that you learned, or getting an inquiry, changing some things in your bio and getting an inquiry. So I've seen those things happen to a lot of people in the group. And that's the reason I want more of you guys to share it also, because not just it'll not just help others, it'll also help you. When you start seeing something that you're doing, to start working in some direction, even if it's like inch by inch, it gives you the confidence and it actually makes you go more in that direction. So celebrating yourself helps you, helps others as well, because it is inspirational. And that's the idea I want to start this call with, that no matter what you're doing, no matter how your week was, since we do this call on a Thursday, I would like recommend trying out a practice every Friday if you guys can. I'm talking about it today, but every Friday from your week, whatever happened, note down your wins, whether it's with respect to work or otherwise. Maybe you wanted to do 10,000 steps and you did it 3 times and you wanted to do it 3 times. So that is a win too. You spent less time on Instagram. That is a win too. Like not scrolling through social media. If you were doing strategic work, that's different. So no matter what your wins are, every Friday, just list them down and then see how it goes. Just keep doing this activity, because whenever you're feeling that I've not accomplished something, when you note down your wins, you'll know, okay, I was feeling like this or feeling icky for no reason. It actually essentially worked for me, and I was able to do so much. This has actually happened with me. A lot of times I feel like, how was this week? It has just gone by in a blur. And when I do this exercise, I'm also not doing it currently, so it's a reminder to me also that I should restart it, but I used to do it very regularly. And one week I was just analyzing how my past week went. I was not feeling very good about it, since I could not close a prospect that I was trying to back then. But then when I analyzed what all I was able to accomplish in the last week, even there were like small things, there were a lot of things on my list and I was able to do them. So I started feeling good after doing that exercise. And that said, I will cut this conversation short because I have a lot of questions to address too. But do try this exercise for yourself. And today is not a Friday. I've put this prompt in the group. You can just go and mention. I think it'll show, it's showing here. Yes, Aman has shared also. So you can go and share your wins on this prompt too. Like whatever wins they are. If there are certain personal wins you don't want to mention here, it's okay. Note down in your notebook and go ahead and see how it works out for you. Super. Awesome. So one of the wins I was talking about is actually one of the members in here, Saundarya. She like did a really cool discovery call. She told me about the prospect she was going to meet, and we discussed, and it went really well. The person is a coach. I think, where is she from, Saundarya? You can tell us. It's a good
yes,
to talk about.
She's from Texas, I think. Like she got me a message like telling that she wants social media help with her profile, and then that's how it starts. She's a life coach for like a divorced women's divorced moms. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So essentially, I did want to bring it up because sometimes minor things you're doing or major things you're doing can result in people automatically reaching out to you as well. So just be open to it energetically. Strategically, you are doing the right shifts. Be open to it energetically and then move mountains. I think the call went amazingly well, and Saundarya is looking forward to making a proposal. And I also wanted to talk to you guys with respect to a proposal. So I am going to get deeper into building a high converting proposal also, not just a portfolio inside when we come to it, in terms of how to design it also, like in an interesting fashion. But for now also, I wanted to discuss this so that anyone who is already working with clients or wants to design a proposal can just roughly go through it. So I have my old, like it's an old one I could find on a short notice today. So it's an old proposal that I will walk you through, and I will just give you a brief of how it flows and what essentially it should have. And whoever is working with clients, whoever wants to get more clients or is pitching to clients, this proposal is not to be sent before a discovery call. It has to be sent after you've discussed their requirements and after that discovery call. So I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to go to the reviews and the questions, the things that I have to review for you guys. And yes, we can keep communicating in the chat section. Super. So this is, like I told you, an old portfolio of mine that got converted for social media marketing and strategy. I will just give you a brief walkthrough of how it's designed. These days, we can do proposals in interesting fashion. Since it's an old one, the kind of techniques that I'm going to teach you will be even more effective than this, but this is good to begin with. Like, it's good to get you effective results already. Two kinds of proposals we design these days. One is with respect to, like, after getting on a call with a person, you create a proposal based on their requirements and then share it with them. This is that kind of proposal. The other proposal is that you don't necessarily design a proposal for every client, but you create a high converting portfolio, and after every call, you share your portfolio with them in case you've not shared that before. In case, of course, you've shared that portfolio, you don't need to share it again, but you can share that portfolio and a separate file, which is related to the pricing of the kind of services they've asked for. So now I would still recommend going forward with this kind of an approach because it feels very customized when you see an entire proposal to your name. So this is the first slide of this particular proposal. Now, again, don't go by the design because back then I liked its design. Currently, I don't like its design, but still I'll walk you through how it was since it made me money. It was a converting portfolio, irrespective of how good it was with respect to design. But the whole idea is that when you customize it, and that's the reason I say don't create just basic packages and put it up on your website, because when you're talking to clients, when you understand their requirements, every business has certain different requirements. And if you put certain numbers in their mind and their business's requirements are completely different, they will feel that you're charging them more unnecessarily. So that's not ideal, because you being the person behind the, I'll say, who's doing the groundwork will know what goes into what kind of a business. Okay. For example, where there is graphic design or long form captions, it's different. Where it's using pictures, editing them out and putting it with short form captions, it's different. So irrespective of just the number of pieces of content. Okay. So I'll just walk you through it. So this is the first slide, which has the proposal for what is this service, because I used to provide ad services and funnel services too. So I used to mention that here, and then issued to whom, prepared by whom, then a little bit of my bio. This was like 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. So this has me with 10,000 followers mentioned here. This is again an okay bio for them. Currently, I do not align very much with it, but it's still a good bio. It has shown for me wherever I've put it. So your first slide, whoever is noting it down, essentially you can go over this call also later. The first slide is the title slide. The second slide is the about you or say hi or something like this. And then the third one is a slight note of the kind of conversation you had with them. So mostly this will be like in a template format, but when you have talked to them, you know what their business wants. So you can make changes here. You should make changes here based on the needs of the business, and then proceed. This is just to give them an idea that this is what we discussed, and I'm excited to build this for you, and this is how this proposal flows. Okay, so now this was the goals for this client that we had particularly discussed in the session. In some cases, they have generic goals which do not need a separate page also to it. And since they know it and you know it, you don't need to highlight it. But in other cases, if they have very specific goals in mind, you can highlight it as well. So this is completely optional. Then there is one of my packages for them. This is custom designed for them. So based on their needs, I have changed certain things. So for multiple clients, it might change on certain numbers. Like this is posting 4 times a week. For some clients, it might be 5 times a week, 7 times a week, 3 times a week, or other changes. Some things will remain generic also. Like you'll optimize their bio when you begin working with them. You'll do other changes. So this is like what all goes under this particular service. Now this had ad creation and management with content creation, like every month's content creation too. So this was 45,000 per month for 3 months minimum. Now, like I told you, I always used to sign contracts that were at least 3 months and not before that, because specifically if you're working organically, like part of this deal is also organic, Instagram or other platforms, it takes time to start seeing results. So if you just sign up for 1 month, you will do a lot of hard work because the first month is a lot of setup, a lot of testing, but you will not get as good as results as they start compounding in the second and third month onwards. So it's good that you close clients like this because it's a win, because you'll be able to get them better results. But at the same time, it also benefits you because you know, okay, this is my projected income for the next 3 months. And of course, in cases that it does not align with the client or you can cancel it. Guys, whoever is not talking can just mute themselves because otherwise the recording will not come out clean. Just 1 second. Yeah. So like I was saying, yeah, so I've just included the things that were here in this package right here to begin with and to get them an idea. This was again consulting plus ads creation and management without the content creation a bit of it. And I've specifically mentioned that content creation is not a part of it. In case they want to do that part themselves and just want me to handle ads and give them strategy consultation, this was it. And the third one was sales funnels in case they wanted it. It's not related to what we're doing in here, but I had mentioned that. And that was a separate package. That was not like a retainer because when you're building a funnel, it's more of a project-based thing. And when you're doing social media marketing services, it's like a monthly thing. You can charge them monthly, you can bill them monthly. These were some bonuses that I had added. So essentially what happens is that whenever you're getting on calls with client, whenever you're working with a client, you do have to do monthly calls with them to guide them also and to give them an update also as to what is happening. So these calls are happening. We just don't put it anywhere. It's like we project us in a way that we are creating content, we are writing captions, and that is it. Wherein it is not like that. That's the reason it's important to highlight whatever you're doing. Hashtag research, bio optimization, creating and managing ads. This was ads, of course, in the content creation aspect of it, what all goes. See, when you mention every bit of it as to what goes on in there, the price is also justified because they don't feel that you're doing 1 or 2 things, which after all, you're not doing. You're doing more things, but generally people feel content creation mein kya hai? So we have to actually quash their myths on those things and highlight it here also, and then just put it across to them very clearly. That's the reason I have done these additional things also for them, and I've mentioned them here because they should know, even if I'm doing something for free for them, it's not something that by default I have to do. I am doing it. I need to showcase it. So this is again an example. When I'm teaching you how to create your own proposals, I will share more with you inside there as well. Cool. So now this is also something I have exactly put across in front of them, that what is their job. In case they don't give me things or feedback on time, I cannot move at the speed I want to for their business. So if there'll be time delays, they are on them. I'm putting it very subtly. You don't have to be rude, but you do have to clarify this because honestly, like if you've worked with clients already, you'd know that you have to run after them sometimes to give you fast approvals because they take a lot of time with something, or they have to review something, or they have to create a reel and give it to you, and then only you can edit it and schedule it, right? Or put it out there. So that's the idea. Cool. Then there were next steps that what is the payment plan for the retainer part? That is for Instagram monthly before we begin each month. And the rest of it, like it was a project-based payment. So 50% before and 50% midway. You always have to, like from where I come, I have never charged, like after I do a month's work, I'm paid for it. There were certain brands who say that, this is not how we work, but essentially you have to hold your ground if you are saying something, because this has also happened in the market. I think some of you guys can agree if you've worked with clients who generally don't pay you on time, and then they'll be constantly saying that, we'll get back to you, I'm releasing it, just give me 1 day more, give me 2 days more. So it's better that if for the month entirely you are prepaid on a retainer, it works out fine for you. And if you are firm on it while not being rude, there's a difference between standing your ground and being plain old rude to the other person, which we don't need to be. We need to be kind but firm. And if you're firm on it, like no one can really alter the payment cycle. And even if you have to give them multiple reminders, by all means do that. We do, like, you have to be besharam, like we call it, for doing that. And there's no shame in it also. Cool. So this is just the idea that I have given to them, that how this will go. Once the proposal is accepted, we'll sign a contract and we'll begin after they clear the invoice. Okay. And because I was doing ads, I've mentioned at every point that the ad spend will be theirs, because some people misdirected that, okay, I thought the ad spend will also be a part of it. No, I am charging for ads as a service because I'm doing it for you. But the ad spend or the money is yours. So that needs to be clarified. And then, of course, there needs to be a way in case they want to discuss something on the proposal also, or portfolio, or whatever you've shared with them in both these documents. There needs to be a way in which they can reach out to you. In case you're doing calls or WhatsApp calls, you can mention your number. I'd never use my WhatsApp or my call. I used to use this discovery call link. And that is what I shared with them, or an email. So a lot of people would email me. This is not my active email address, so don't make a note of it. But they used to email me or book a strategy call with me, like a discovery call with me, in case they needed to discuss something. Mostly they'll just reply to my proposal and say that this works or this does not work, or can we discuss it? And that's how you go forward with it. So essentially, if I'm to deep dive on the structure of it, it's basically, this is after you have talked to them and after you have noted their requirements. You go over by starting with a title page, then giving them a little bit crisp information about your own self, then the overview of your call that happened by, of course, utilizing good encouraging words in there, and then the goals in case they're there. This is optional. Afterwards, different options for them in case it's relevant. In case it's not relevant, that she wants, for example, for Saundarya, she has asked you for, Saundarya, correct me if I'm wrong, she has asked you for content creation. Like in terms of, she'll be doing the raw content, she needs help with graphics, right? Graphics, scheduling, hashtags, engagement.
Yeah, yes. She will be providing raw contents. She have everything. I need to provide like graphics, like three posts for a week, and then everything, like designing everything.
Designing, scheduling, hashtags,
scheduling,
but
yes,
not
hashtags.
The not the content for the graphics. The content she'll give you, and
she said.
the caption also she'll write, right?
Yes, she will write.
Okay.
Captions.
So you can have two packages in this case. I'm taking Saundarya's example. One is including all of these things, and the other is the optional bit of websites. So now she needs help with websites. So if you don't provide website design, you can let her know this upfront, that this is not a service you'd like to add on, since currently you're not taking clients. Even if you want to delve deeper into website later, you can say that currently you're not taking clients for that service. In case you don't want to, you can let them know that this is my domain, social media is my expertise, and I do everything A to Z social media, and I don't take website at all. The third thing that you can do in this case, because generally what happens with clients is every client more or less is a business owner, and business owners are busy, because you being one would kind of agree with it. So everyone is busy. They need minimum touch points and maximum results. So sometimes what they want is that you take care of blah, blah, blah for me, everything, and then you handle it. But I want these particular deliverables or particular solutions. In this case, what you can do is you can take their project and hire someone out for it. That is, you can subcontract it to another freelancer who does websites already. So by that also, you can keep a margin in there, because you will be the person who will be managing things across with that freelancer and the client. You will be communicating, you'll be making changes, you'll be doing work. So don't say that if X is the amount you're paying to the freelancer, you charge the client X, you charge the client X plus something, because you are doing the management work. So that is important. Okay. But in this case, you can hire it out to someone as well. In case you want to get into websites yourself, and if that's a simple website to make and you're confident that you can do it by yourself, then you can take it up as your own project. Otherwise, you can inquire people and get someone on board and say that member is a part of your team. You don't need to necessarily have an agency. A lot of agencies and freelancers also subcontract work to other freelancers for some work. So for example, eventually you can also choose to work with agencies who do branding, who do website, but who do social media for their clients too. And they need you to do the social media work. So you can just do the social media work for that client. So likewise, you can do the opposite also, which is basically you can hire out this particular kind of service to someone else. But you need to know details from them for website. So you can say the packages start at this. But I would like to know how many pages does she want for the website? Because if it's a one-pager website with 4 sections, it's relatively less. If it's a website that has a complete separate sales page for a particular product, and then there's the about section and everything is spread across in 4 to 5 pages, it's different. Mostly a 4 to 5 page or a 1-page website is used by coaches. They don't need a super elaborate website like an e-com store. So it's like that, but it's good to get their requirements. Like currently, their requirements with respect to social media. So you can create the entire, like this kind of a package for them for that. For website, you can say that it starts here, but I would like to know number of pages and the kind of requirements she has, or how is she seeing her website? And is she okay with building it on WordPress, Element, or Wix, or other tools that are out there? Okay. So essentially, you can have just these 2 options. If you had clarity on the website bit already, like I'm just giving an example as Saundarya, others can also implement it in the same way. In those cases, you can have 2 options. One is the package for this, which has website plus social media. The other is social media independently, in case you already had the ideas for the website from her. Okay. Because that will help her see things clearly. This is essentially the overall of it. We will get down into the details also, but I just wanted to share it in case any one of you is preparing it, you can get a head start on it. But while we are talking about it, I will also show you how can you design, even design better than this. This is like, okay, design. I'm very self-critical like that. Cool. For the price points, Soundarya, if you have any doubts, you can ask them. But otherwise, we can discuss it afterwards also. Like, you can mention it if you have something in mind for the price points of the social media services, because website I'll not be able to comment till we actually know what she wants.
Yeah. Also, I don't know about the, she's it belongs to US, so I don't know the packages, how to create the packages and pricings for them also. So I need a little.
The pricing will be for the overall package. You don't need to list out everything's price for them. That is, content like graphics is for this or hashtags is for this. You can just list out the work. So based on what I've discussed, what you do after this call is you list out everything from your call. Like, you'll know 3 graphics per week into 4. Like, for a month you need 12 graphics. So like that, you list out everything, daily engagement if that's needed. Hashtag research, you'll do it once and then you'll test out before you do it again. So likewise, whatever you have in mind currently, you list it out and I'll give you options for it for a client who's in the US and you're doing this work. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, Teja.
Super. All the best for this call.
Thank you so much.
And conversion.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to take Monika's question. I thought for a long time, in fact, sat with ICA workbook, but I can't figure out that I can relate to ICA if I work with someone. Example, thinking of edtech, nutritionists, etc. When it comes to thinking of them specifically, I feel I can utilize the workbook, but I can't relate to it right now. I have thought about different industries and targeting specific people, but my mind dwells and I'm not able to decide on any specific industry right now. So for this, Monica, you don't need to design, you don't need to decide before working with a few clients as to what is the exact industry that you want to cater to. Okay. So for now, what I'll tell you is why I do want you to fill up the ICA workbook, even from a slightly generic perspective, is because you will get into the mind from the consumer perspective. That is, if they want help with growing their social media, what are they thinking? And Preksha, this is something I want to discuss with you also with respect to the bio part. The bio was beautiful, but like it had something missing. I'll come to it. But this is essentially what I'm saying, that when you think from that perspective, Monica, or anyone for that matter, is that, say you are a brand or you are a coach or you are a consultant or you are a personal brand or an entrepreneur who wants to build a following. What is your goal? So initially, just think of it from this perspective. Take up any of these personas. Like, even if 2 or 3 zoom in, for example, different kinds of personal brands and entrepreneurs need similar type of results, right? They want a better engaged community to begin with, for the industry to believe, like for their industry to believe that they are an expert. So their goals essentially are to have a good following, but more importantly, a good engagement across their content as well. So if you think from their perspective, if you think from an entrepreneur's or a personal brand's perspective, what is it they want? What are they doing day in and day out? Probably they're already running a business. This is something they want to do to either add that credibility bit to their business that will help them generate more sales, or eventually they want to launch something for which, again, they want to drive sales. So what are they thinking? What is going on in their head? What do they want right now? Based on that, if you do this exercise a little bit also, even if it's generic, like 2-3 personas can overlap for it, don't go super specific. Even if you know some of these pointers, the content that you will be creating for your social media will be wired around that around the problems. We've talked about problem awareness content in creating content that builds demand, and the shareable content as well. That helps people see what are the problems they are facing and why can you help them. So if you go from that perspective, you'll be able to create better content. But that said and done, do a version 1 of ICA. You can come back and change things. Say you work with 3 people and then you decide like, no, this is something I definitely don't want to work with. Like, this is not an industry of my niche. Like, maybe you don't want to work with product businesses, or you want to work with only product businesses, or you get an idea, then you can come back and tweak it. Sooner or later, what will happen, not very later actually, sooner only, you will come across some client who will be like, everything will work out very well for you, such that you will feel that they are very close to being an ideal client. So keeping them in mind, then you rewrite this complete ICA that, okay, this is a person, she has 2 kids and blah, 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 blah. This does not mean that every client of yours will have 2 kids, but you list out this entire profile from the point of view of that person so that when you're writing, you can go deeper into the details with respect to their goals, their pain points, their daily schedules. Maybe they don't have time, their motivations, the questions that they have in their head when they go to bed, like, okay, this is what I have to do tomorrow. I have to create a post also. I've not done it right now. How will it drive sales to my business? Or X, Y, and Z. Whatever they are thinking. Because sometimes we feel that sabko yahi chahiye, or they need this particular thing or that. But when we think from their perspective, and when we actually talk to a few people who are going through those problems, their ideas of results are very different from what we think. And if we know what they're thinking, we're able to create content that actually resonates with them. You have to create content based on what people want, not what they need. But then once you're delivering that service, you can deliver it in a fashion that you give them what they need. Okay. For example, if I sell FGA by saying that, you'll get clients, you'll make money, you'll get clients, you'll make money. That is what people want. But if I just talk about getting clients inside FGA and not working on the skill set or not working on the serving part, then maybe people will get 1 or 2 clients, but then they'll not be able to create a system by which they get referrals, a system by which their clients are happy and they want to keep working with them, or they are able to provide kick-ass results, right? So I'm giving you what you need by packaging it with what you want, so that everything is covered in there. And you are able to drive this thing as a business, as a long-term business that is scaling for you. So that is essentially what you want to do for your clients also. But if we don't know what they want, we'll not be able to get their attention only. That is the problem. So do it in a generic fashion for now. I have a habit of going on to tangents when I'm talking about such stuff. So yeah, like I was saying, just do it slightly generic right now. And once you work with a few people, once you have a clear idea, I want to work with healers or coaches, come back and do this exercise from that one person perspective. And if you have questions, Monica, you can just say in the chat that you want to ask something, then I'll ask you to unmute. Meanwhile, I'll read your second question. For a noob, do you think a generic thing can work? Okay, that's what I've said. Like targeting whatever seems good or whatever opportunity is available. Yes, absolutely. You don't have to particularly pitch by looking at an industry right now. It's absolutely okay, because sometimes you will feel that, okay, this is not aligning with you. Even if you're starting and you are beginning your journey, if you see an opportunity and it'll be very you'll feel very gross about it, that no, this is not something I can do or I do want to do, then you can not pitch for it. But in some cases, don't do it with respect to an industry right now. Experiment before coming on, I want to do only this for these people. If you'll not experiment, you will not know what you want, what you truly, truly want. I would say don't think too much and just get out. Get it out there. Not get out, get it out there. Yes, you can start working with any kind of personal brands, either or multiple product-based businesses. Because when it comes to product-based businesses like apparel, jewelry, so many businesses are now translating online and they need help. They do not really know what they need to do. Like offline businesses also have to come online now because of how the world has changed in the last 2 years. And so many business owners are not really sure about what should they be doing to get sales online, or to create or to actually use Instagram to get sales. So you can either start with the product industry, or you can start with the personal brand industry. Personal brand, there'll be coaches, there'll be educators, there'll be content creators, there'll be people who are into providing services also, essentially want to build a personal brand. So you can begin with them. Yeah, unmute yourself, Monica.
Okay. Tejal, one thing I wanted to ask is when it comes to apparel and jewelry based business, so in those business, do captions play a major role, or it's just the photograph and
No, the captions are important, and they are also structured in that kind of a fashion only, that they have to have a hook and a CTA. It's just that they are not long form captions are not needed. Sometimes you can talk about the customer, like the founder journey or something like that. But other times, if the content is good and if other things you're providing, then the caption can be crisper instead of a super long one. But at the same time, it can benefit. Like sometimes it's short, sometimes it's medium. It is important. It's not like the caption is everything in that case. So I would recommend for this particular part, Monica, you go through the things that I've shared in the separate lesson that I created inside the creating content that builds demand. It's a separate lesson that is related to, inside that lesson, there is a separate video that's related to utilizing social media for product-based businesses. Because a lot of times we feel for product-based businesses, we just need to go out there and put pictures. But doing multiple things can help these product-based businesses also build a community. And when that happens, it will trigger sales automatically. They start happening. So go through that. That will be really helpful in this case. And Sally, I've seen she's done some amazing captions I see for certain products also. And I think they hold the power to drive sales. So captions are important, but visual is also very important for these businesses to stop people. Cool, Monica. Is there anything else?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, sure. I would recommend go through that lesson. That particular video if you haven't.
Okay, thank you.
Super, welcome. Okay, Karina is asking, thank you. I will not be able to attend. Now I understand how to do content idea research. Can you please explain how to do main content research, actually the body of the content? If I work with a niche which I have no knowledge about, how will I create content for them? This is an amazing question. Originally, no, I had not planned for it, but I can definitely add something of that sort also. But it begins with the client. So when you're working with the client, there are two things, right? First, you're creating content for your own self. For that, you have an idea about what your pillars are and what kind of content you want to put out. Because say if you talk about social media, you already are understanding social media. So I'll not recommend that whatever you see or whatever you learn from me or anyone else you put out there, you experiment with your own self and then put out there based on how you feel about things, or you can test a lot of things as well. But for your clients, say you come across an industry which you don't know a lot about, then the first thing that you need to do is understand it from the client. That is, get the respective data from the client, even if they have not. For example, a lot of business owners, like we were just talking about apparel business owners or jewelry business, so there's silver jewelry, there's other artificial jewelry, there's real jewelry. So basically, if they don't know, they've not filled an ICA document per se, you can still get on a call with them. Like when you onboard them, after that, you do a strategy call to really understand who are they selling to, who are the people who are most buying from them currently, or who are the people who used to buy from them offline. If they are an offline business who's gone to an online business, in that example, you can ask them ask them a lot of questions about who has bought from them in the past, or who do they think are the right people to buy from them. So you'll get an idea to get into the consumer psyche. A lot of businesses, when you're working with them, they already know a lot about their ICA because they've done this groundwork. So for them, you can directly take any documents they have related to their ideal client to actually think from the perspective of the ideal client. So that you know when you're crafting things, okay, what is the myth that this person might be holding? You have to really be empathetic here, because then only you'll be able to get into the shoes of this person to actually think about, okay, what is my problem? Now, this is not your ideal client, because you will know your ideal client inside out. This is the ideal client of your client's business. So it's important that you really squash all boundaries and then get into the ideal client's shoes to think from that perspective. The second thing here is what I had talked about then in the second module, which was competitor research. So if you know the competitors or the people that these brands or these clients are looking up to, you can really start from there and get deeper into understanding if they're targeting the same demographic, what kind of content are they creating. So you'll get a lot of ideas to begin with from there. Doesn't mean that you should pick up a content piece, repurpose it, and like change some graphics, change some captions and put it up as your own, but you'll get ideas on what can I do for this particular client or for this particular niche. Because when you're working with different niches, say you work with a doctor, do you really, like if you're working with a dentist, do you really know about what goes on inside the mouth, right? Not from a technical perspective, but you know from a consumer perspective, a person who has dental problems or who can have dental problems, what are the problems you might face, or what are you doing currently that might not be working. So think from that perspective, but moreover, do research of what other dentists are doing, what is working well for them. And once you have these data points, that is the ICA points as well as the competitor research points, you go on Google. Google is one of the great friends. You don't have to create free content that is going to be super technical online, because anyways the customer is not going to relate to it. But you need to think from the customer's perspective and then do a strategic research. I can add certain pointers. I will do that. I have part of this thing happening already in one of the lessons, so I will cover this, but also I'll add there only. But mainly you first need to do the ICA part and the competitor part, so that you have a lot of amazing ideas and you know what you want. If you know what you want, you can go and Google and search better. So in that particular part that I will add, I'm noting it down. I'll give you examples as to how can you search better using Google or other tools like Pinterest. Okay, just a second. Super. But yeah, definitely always begin by quizzing or asking your client about these things about their customer. It is like they know their customer the best. So you don't have to, again, the way in which you project yourself to them doesn't have to be that you've not done your research. Because sometimes people say that when we ask a lot of questions to our clients, they say that you should have done this research. So it's not that. You can say that I understand, like, you sell this to this and this and this, but I'd really like to know from the current customers or the past customers you've got, say, online, what was the major demographic, or how did you see, like, what kind of age group of people purchase the most. This will help me enable that whatever I'm putting out there is more effective, so that they get more bang for their buck, essentially. Right? Because if you'll take a lot of time to figure this thing out by yourself, by testing content, it'll spend more time and more effort there, right? And if they are able to give you some good inputs, because they know their audience the best, like you would know your audience. No one can know your audience better. I know my audience the best. No one can know my audience as good as I do. Even if I'm hiring out someone to do something for me, I can tell them about my audience, but they cannot know about my audience better than me in 1 day or 2 days, right? Because I've worked with my audience for so long. So just like this, in the similar fashion, this thing also works. Yes, super. Hi, Siley.
Hi.
I help business owners generate more leads and convert them into long-term clients through powerful, persuasive copywriting that helps their brands stand above the competitors. So I would say, for definitely, guys, for I help, your I help statements can be longer, but your Instagram bios or other places where there is a restrictive content, character space available, you cut and make it even crisper. Okay. So right now I'm recommending from the I help statement perspective, because when you change this to your bio, you will have to cut short and make it even more sparkier, I'll say. So I would say, yeah, it's fine to keep it slightly generic for now. Like you're saying that you would deep dive into being just a launch copywriter or a sales copywriter when you do some more work before finalizing which way you want to go. But business owners is good. I help business owners. Or if you feel that currently the kind of business owners you're working with are more entrepreneurs, people who call themselves as entrepreneurs are mostly more personal brands, but still some other brands also come in, because an entrepreneur is anyone who's essentially a business owner. It's just a different kind of a word. Most people use that word. So see what works, like who you think your audience relates to better. So currently the client that you've worked with, how does she relate to? Like what kind of words does she relate to? Even if she's not ideal per se, but if you want to work with similar people, like people who are into the healing industry or the wellness industry, what have they written in their bio? Go check it out and just make a note of how they feel about themselves or what they call themselves and use that word here. If it's business owners, by all means, go ahead with business owners. So I help business owners generate more leads and convert them into long-term clients through powerful and persuasive copywriting that helps their brand stand above the competitors. So this line, I think that Mansi had also put that this line is not making sense, although I feel it can be made more impactful, but it's currently like that helps their brands stand above the competitors is kind of confusing when a person reads it in the first go. Like, I think just because of how it's coming together, like brands stand above the competitors, that kind of a thing. So you can make it crispier and infuse your own personality a bit into it. Like I help business owners generate super high quality leads and convert them into long-term clients through powerful and persuasive copy that helps them stand out, or through powerful and persuasive copy or copywriting. If you feel people relate more with copywriting, you can use copywriting, but otherwise you can change it to copy also, because some people know what copy means essentially if those are your target audiences. It's interesting. I'm seeing a lot of iterations to it in my mind, but it's like some changes can be made. I would say infuse yourself a little into it. Like it should be Saeli. It should not be any copywriter. So just those specific kind of things. And specifically, since you're into copywriting, I know you'd be most confused with this because you feel I am a copywriter, this needs to come off in this way, and then you get confused. I think that might be happening with you. So you, like the clients that come to you, they need leads or they directly need clients?
No, sometimes they are also looking for leads, because lead magnet and landing pages, they are mostly lead specific. So
landing page copy. That's good. Then it's good to have that word lead there. And how do they convert their lead? Is it via email sequences or calls or other ways?
Yes, via mostly email sequences.
Okay.
Otherwise, through their website, maybe. So,
yeah, I would definitely think more on it, but I would say a few things that that helps their brand stand out above the competitors is not working. So maybe you can change it into powerful and persuasive copy that helps them stand out above from the competitors. This phrase is absolutely not needed. Above the competitors, standing out is a good thing, that powerful and persuasive copy that helps them stand out. But I would say infuse a little bit more personality into it. I will also think, and if I will tweak and give you some ideas on this as well. But yeah, you know yourself the best. So that's the reason I'm saying infuse some bits into it, and then I'll help you modify it and finalize it.
Yes, I see that.
And
now.
with respect to yeah, super. So with respect to the pricing also, I had seen your post. Just a second. I'll go to it. I had planned that I will add the link here, but then I forgot. Yes. For captions, $25, which comes out to be about, I think, around $1,700 for USD.
Yes.
For emails, it's okay, 3,500 to 7K. It's good to charge high ticket for Indian clients also. So first of all, get that straight. Like, you don't have to have any shame about it. I'll not say that go for just this exact rate, but even if you are eventually doing sales emails or good quality emails also at $50, that's not a bad deal. It's not something you cannot do, even if it's an Indian client. We have these things in our mind ki Indian client hai to I cannot ask. Like when I used to build funnels, I had this thing particularly ki outside clients ke liye $2,000 is a normal thing for a funnel, but Indian client ke liye translating it and saying that I need like 1.4 lakhs for this particular funnel, you feel that should I ask for it or not? But essentially you're doing the same work.
Right.
So even if you can bring it from 1.4 lakhs to 1.2 lakhs, you cannot bring it to 70,000. You cannot cut it by half, and that's okay. So these are also not, I'd say, ridiculous pricing. But yes, if you want to currently increase the pricing that you are working with, then I would say these things are good to begin with. What you can do is also you can charge 300 per caption for say 15-20 captions, a set of 15-20 captions per month, maybe 15 or 20. And in case they have more, then you can reduce it to 250 or 280 and do that.
300 per caption for a fixed number of captions.
Yeah, like for maybe 15 captions you charge like that. But if their number is going up, that means more work is coming. That means more money can be paid. So you can give them a slight
discount,
money amount change for that. Yeah, a slight discount, I would say. We'll not name it as discount because that's not nice. But yeah, the packages, you can have certain that in mind, that this is how you begin with right now. And for an email, again, I would say, what is the length of the standard email? How big is it?
I think like I discussed with my client, she said that keep it around 300, but sometimes I observed that it goes beyond 300. Obviously, I can't keep everything under 300 or something. So they're longer than that if we come to the length, especially when they're pointing to a blog or their educational emails. Then they definitely go longer, sometimes even maybe 1,000 words too. So
okay. So I would again say, like for sales email and all, this is no pricing at all. So for sales email, you do a different pricing altogether. But if it's like a welcome sequence, if it's a nurture sequence, if it's a newsletters are very different because they are sometimes super long also. So it really depends.
Evergreen email.
But yeah, okay. Is this a sequence kind of a thing?
No. This one is for an individual email. I haven't decided for the type, but inside Alex's pricing guide, she has said that sales emails were somewhere around, I guess, $70 or $100, something like that. So she had a different amount for every different type of email. I just
a sales email is essentially similar to a sales page. You can go as high as $500, $700 for that as well.
Oh.
Like if you'd like, as in, you need to prepare yourself because you're doing good work. It's also, that's the reason I say keep practicing, keep getting really confident in your skill set, because you know that you are going to deliver and there's no short on that. And because I've seen the work that you've done, so I know you can deliver on things. But the only thing is that we need to align with the pricing also. So we need to get ourselves to be okay
comfortable
with that.
with the prices that we are charging.
Exactly. So like that's the reason I think you pitched 7,000 or 8,000 to that client for a sales page, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, there was another question that should I keep in mind, like for example, my current client has launched a product. Until now, she was just launching courses, but it's a first product. So should I, when I'm writing about that product, so should my assets pricing should depend upon what she's charging from her product, or should I just have a standard like whatever I have?
For the product description, you mean?
No. Like she's selling a product and she's selling it for say $79 or something. So should my pricing, whenever I see, okay, she's the sales is for a $79 thing and how much she's selling, should I keep these things in mind when I'm pitching my price, or they are just irrelevant?
See, mostly you should know what it is for, because if someone is selling $1,000 thing and you're writing the page for it, you need to go elaborate on that page. So the word limit and the way in which the persuasive copywriting works is different. But not because how much sale will she make every time a person goes through. You don't have to calculate that or use that in numbers. You need to essentially know it from the writing perspective. But not like $79 per sale, how many page views, how many clicks, and how should I do the conversion? That is not relevant to your pricing. But yes, of course, if you're writing a landing page, that's the reason it's different. If you're writing a page for a lead magnet, it's relatively smaller. It doesn't need to be as persuasive as it does for a sales. And for a sales page also, if it is coming via a freebie or a webinar or some warm-up resource, then the persuasion needs to be not as much as if it's a cold page altogether. And the conversion will also depend on that. So if you've created a sales page, it's a very good sales page, and she's sending cold traffic to it, you'll not get good conversions. Does that mean that your persuasion was wrong? No, it means her funnel is leaky. It's not working at all for her. So that is what I essentially mean with it. You don't need to keep your pricing per that, but you need to keep in mind what it is about, so that you can create accordingly and you can charge accordingly as well.
Okay.
But for this particular email, I think 1,000, 1,200 bucks is easy to begin with. For some clients, again, if it's like they're signing up for like this 5-step email sequence and then this kind of an email sequence, which needs more nurturing, it's longer in size. If it's going up like 1,000 words, you can charge 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 easily. If it's lesser also, then also I would not say go lesser than 1,000 anyways.
So right now I should keep my... Yes.
Yeah, sorry. Just one thing. Yeah. Even if you'd like to sometimes for some particular client make a exception or something, then also I would say 850, 900 basic.
So I should not go below that as per the email experience that I have right now in hand.
No, you can go up with more experience. With every next client, you can charge more. It's just that you have to, the work that you're doing or the kind of confidence with which you pitch, you need to work on that. Yeah, but with every client, you'll get more experience. So you can charge more with every next client. It's not
right. Wrong. So on this similar note, I actually talked with my current client, and obviously she is not at all ready to increase any kind of prices. So I asked her that, okay, I will work on the decided prices for this month, maybe for a month. But I would recommend that you should start seeing another writer. I mean, just you look for another writer because then I would be leaving this. So I had this conversation with her. And she said, okay, so I would be leaving her soon. And I was actually a little bit scared because I was a little bit demotivated from the past 2 days that will I be able to reach my first target or 50K per month or something? Will I be able to reach that? Because I was just scared and demotivated and some anxious thoughts were going on in my mind last night. So.
Yeah, I can understand that because that is the fear that we are facing. But sometimes what we do not understand is that we essentially need to create more space for the new things to enter our world as well. So I would not say that by all means. Sometimes you do have to think logically. Sometimes you have to see things in your life. Sometimes you even have to see things at your family end. Because just today morning, I was coaching someone and we were discussing this bit only that logically she was thinking that she needs the money, but it's not an exciting project, and even if it's not even priced as well as she'd like for it to be, and the decision was just to say yes to it because the money would be helpful. and the work would not be exciting or not. So like, of course, she'll be the decision maker here. I cannot make decisions, but I can just guide you that there are two scenarios. In both of them, you need to work on your mindset. A is that you let it go because you want to create space for the right project. So keep doing your client attraction activities, keep doing other things, but essentially be open to getting the right client and creating that space for it and being mentally prepared for it. So your mindset should not be that, okay, I've let go of this and I don't have anything. I will not have anything. I will be like this. I will not get my client. I will not meet my goal. You have to consciously say to ourselves that we are going to make it. This is going to happen for us. And the other way, in case you still are working with someone which is not like you are saying yes to that project, like the example that I'm giving you, is to take it up as like, I know this is for 2 months. I know this is the skill set that I particularly do not enjoy currently, but why not add something to it and try to make it even more effective for me and do it as a 2-month thing. It's not like I'm tied to her or married to her for life. She already knew that it might be a 1 month or a 2-month thing. So I'll take it up as an experience. And my whole goal is to hone my skill set such that I can offer this service and I can be like, I can price myself super high for it the next time. So the idea is that in both cases, the mindset shift is needed, because if you're sulking and if you're going to do this just because this is going to add additional 30,000 in my bank account, the money will come, you will do the service, but you'll not be doing it in a way that can get the person results. But at the same time, you'll not be happy, because mostly if you're here because you want to create good work out there as well, right? We don't want to do substandard work and just be paid. We want to do really good work and be paid really well as well for it, right? So we need to tell this to ourselves, like what is more important to us, even if you decide to continue, or even if, sometimes what can happen is that she might come back to you that I'm okay, that you're saying X pricing, I'm currently at Y, but let's agree to a Z for some time, because I would really like to work with you because your work is good. And if things are working well for you, she might be able to push her budgets and she might be able to do that. But if not, then think of it like that this is good for you. It's creating space for getting the right people on board, for you to actually go and analyze the right people out there on Instagram, on social media. So we need to reframe the way in which we're thinking. But either way, even if she comes back to you, and even if you decide to continue with her, we have to do it from a perspective that we know that this is not like we don't have to sulk every time we have to work with that client. We have to get over that feeling. Yes. And eventually, even if you work with her today for a month or 2 or however much, after that, you know that you can let her go. If she's not adding to your universe, you create things in a way without sulking that work for you so that you can let her go. So both of those things are correct. There's nothing is wrong. We just need to train our mind to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's what I'd say. Welcome. Super. So what are the daily tasks you recommend to practice in order to sharpen the SMM skills? I would say, Ashish, analyzing how are people writing so that you can improve your writing. Again, I will give you like a flow of how to go about basic caption writing, content writing, so that you can be really good at what you're doing. But even if I tell you, and even if I give you the right examples, until and unless you practice, until and unless you dissect what works for others, what works for yourself, you'll not be able to really ace that path. And I think those who've done writing in the past or are doing it currently would agree with me. Even Saili can agree to me that when you practice, you become good at it. And when you actually analyze, like if a copy works, can you see the hook? Can you see what kind of things have they used to integrate it, or how are they using storytelling? So essentially dissecting these things, and also working on your creatives, because being a social media marketer, you need to do if I'll not say the perfect graphics, because nothing is really perfect, right? But you need to hone that skill set. For that, create multiple types of graphics. If you are creating for multiple niches, like say if you want to work with apparel-based businesses or product-based businesses who are jewelry businesses or other businesses, then create these graphics for them and then write. I got confused with your chat, but I would say then actually put them up here and I can review it for you, that this looks good, this doesn't look good. Sometimes, guys, I say things upfront also that, I feel that this can be changed. This is not ideal, because the idea is that I don't want you to feel all good all the time that, okay, I'm doing amazing. I truly want you to do amazing. So if I feel that something can change, and if I'm putting out there, it's not to discourage you, because I'm all for encouraging everyone here. But sometimes I do that because I know that improving or working on this will get you better results. So I want to make you better, essentially. That is my idea. So that's the reason I can totally give you honest feedback on that this can change, this can be added. So work on your creatives, work on your captions. There are 2 things right now, but as in when I work on the strategic content plan also. Sometimes we don't really know what kind of strategy to create for what kind of a business. So do this practice, create a strategy plan, basic one. You don't need to get down into the every detail of creating a plan for a business you're not working with currently. But if you have to do this for a month for this client, how can you create their strategic plan? So just do these things. Other than that, I will, as in when the things are added, you can do more of those things as well. But as an SMM, as a social media marketer manager, you need to understand how people think, how people work. So empathy is a good skill. And that will happen once you keep doing this work, because you'll know what works, what triggers the mind for your consumer, for your business and for other businesses as well. Cool? Awesome. Okay, yeah, that was it. If we start our journey as a generalist and then become a specialist, how to proceed with this procedure? If I skip the ICA part for now, Ashish, I've talked about it right today only with Monica. Don't skip the ICA part. Even if you can't do a lot of research, try to understand and do it from a generalist perspective for now. And as in when you work with the right clients and you get more clarity, okay, this is who I want to work with, then try to find those people and do this entire process with them, with keeping that ICA in mind. Cool? Yes. Hi, Aman. I think this has the Canva watermark in there because this element has that particular thing. From what I know of currently, I've not seen your brand board. Have you created a brand board, or do you want to first create the logo and then go by creating the brand board? Because I think this M is already a part of Canva's elements. So that's the reason I think this watermark sort of a thing is coming. I would like to see a brand board first, because like this is not very visually appealing. Sometimes what happens is the colors may be good, but they might not be going well just in that logo. Not every color from a brand board needs to be on the logo. It's okay to have just 2 colors or 3 colors present in the logo and still have a completely full brand board. So Aman, I would say whatever colors are currently working with you, like honestly, I feel this will be a little too much. But whatever colors are working with you, like this is nice. This M is not highlighting, but overall as a brand board, this will also be nice, but not as a logo. Again, this is good, but I feel this will be too close, like in 2 color tones. This is good as a brand board, overall brand board. This is okay. I think it's a lot of colors in one logo. No, not a lot. So 2, 3 I've liked. You can go via this recording and go through them, but first create the brand board also, because it doesn't matter, like I'm telling you, in the logo, not all colors need to be there. Even if one logo looks good, like if this is looking good, or if the other one is looking good, like this one, it can still flow. But if the particular colors you're putting together in a graphic and it's not working out for you, or till you test them out with multiple graphics, you'll not know if it'll all go together. But otherwise, I feel this one is a good color options to have, like is a good brand board to have. Is there a particular reason, Aman, with which you don't want to create a personal brand around this and straight away start with an agency or a brand name? Let me know in case there is. And when you're designing this also, I think this is not aligned, center aligned. So just work on the alignment a little too. So make it shift a little towards the left and remove this element, which has that Canva branding on it. I think it has a Canva branding on it. I can see the stripes. And then just create a brand board of the same. If this is something that resonates with you, this is a good color combination to have. But otherwise, the name is good. Super. Yes, I saw a post from a travel account, which I follow for SMM. I have sent mail to the person with my current profile for now. But if in future I want to apply for such roles, should I create a different profile, or is it okay to apply with my same profile? Okay. Do you have any template for content calendar with dates just like the calendar, or any app you suggest to see the planned content? Yes. So Shalu, answering your second question first, because I think you've mentioned, please skip this question. I'll just give you a brief on the first part, but mainly on the second part, the content creation template, content plan template that I've created in Airtable. And I've also shared with you. So watch the entire video I've shared with you towards the end of the Airtable part as to how can you view it as a calendar also. So that it shows you that entire plan in a calendar, how it looks, And then when you click on every card, you can the size becomes bigger and you can see all the details in there as well. So use that exact template. You don't need anything third party other than that. That's what I'd recommend. And for this one, the top one, I would say for the profile perspective, see, if you're working with other travel accounts, your own profile gives justification for that. Like it's a good thing to share with people who you are pitching to. But as an SMM, if you want to really scale as an SMM, then you need to have a separate profile, because your current profile would not say that you're a social media marketer, right? But if you want to use it just for credibility purposes, you can. Otherwise, what you can do in that case is, just a second, yeah. How to turn off these notifications? Someone please tell me. Okay. Otherwise, what you can do, Shalu, is that create a separate profile and then link that profile to this profile, seeing you are the main creator behind this profile, so that the credibility aspect can be added from this profile. So even if you don't post a lot of content on that profile, you can just let people know that you're a social media manager or marketer for other travel accounts, and you can link this account there.
Okay, sure. Hi, I joined.
Hi. Okay. You were not there earlier, na, Shalu?
Hi.
You've read.
Yes. I was just seeing the Facebook Live. Yeah.
Achha.
Yeah, so I just went through the latest module. That's why I told that you can skip this one, because that module resolved my question. Yeah.
I'm glad. Super. I was trying to choose my value pillars for social media management services for Instagram. Hey, Jyotishri, I decided to talk about Instagram only, but my expertise is more in LinkedIn and YouTube domain. So how should I frame it? Are these two varied from each other? Can I make posts about LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram can all be my 3 value pillars? Yes, Jyotishri, basically, they can be your 3 value pillars. Why I essentially say that don't go via multiple platforms to begin with is because it comes from a generalist approach again. It does not become from an expert position. But since you have had experience in LinkedIn and YouTube and can talk about that also right from the beginning, you can test it out on your profile. But the idea is, who are you targeting? First, tell me that. Because if it is business owners who are not likely to be on LinkedIn or YouTube, then in that case, we can focus on Instagram only. If it's businesses who are on 2 or 3 platforms, then we can actually test out all 3 and see. Because you've had experience on LinkedIn and YouTube, so it can be beneficial for you. But again, I don't want you to lose that expert position in the minds of your consumer. And I want you to charge really good money for that.
Hi, Tejal.
Hey.
Yeah, so the thing is, I've not had a lot of luck, trying to build my brand on Instagram personally yet. But on LinkedIn and on YouTube, I have worked with people, I have worked on my brand, and I've been able to grow all that. So should I be focusing on these 2 or any one of these right now?
What do you want to do? Like, what's your eventual goal? What do you want to achieve? Or who are you helping? Like, do you have an ideal consumer in mind for now?
Yes, mainly small business owners.
Of what niche? Like, are they product? Are they service?
No, service-based, like coaches and consultants, for example.
Okay. So for them, you can focus on LinkedIn or YouTube first. That works. You can use your own Instagram and your own LinkedIn and your own YouTube for doing that also. Even Instagram, if you are building it, you can build your Instagram as a LinkedIn expert also. That's nothing wrong.
Right.
Because you can be paid good money for all of these services. It's not like Instagram will get you paid more or LinkedIn will get you paid less for that matter. So, but I would say, like, stick to 1 or 2 first, because that will help you build that expertise faster. Since you already have it, it's also good to share that credibility part there.
Okay. Thank you, Tejal.
Yeah. Welcome. Yes, this is something we've already discussed, Sandhya.
Yeah. Yes, Tejal, you have answered. Thank you. Yeah.
Super. I got an inbound lead. First of all, yay for all the inbound leads that are coming by you guys putting yourself out there, by making some tweaks, by opening, the doors energetically as well, because you need to be ready for it. How much should I charge for the same Indian client in terms of social media work? We are looking for someone to keep pushing 4 posts per day across Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Then, so is it, are you there, Momita?
Yes, hi Sejal.
Hi.
Yeah.
So is it 4 posts per day, as in one on Twitter, one on LinkedIn, one on Facebook, or 4 on each platform?
No, one on each platform.
Okay. So there are LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram also, 4 platforms?
Yeah, like they are supposed to post 2 on Twitter and then 1 on LinkedIn and 1 on Facebook actually.
Okay, makes sense. And then all 4 of these are different, or they are repurposed? Like one on Twitter is repurposed to Facebook for that matter?
Yeah, actually the 3 would be repurposed from their previous blog, website, case studies or whatever they have, and one of the content would be like research based. So I have to create that. Otherwise, it would be the same.
Sorry, what will be the same?
The format would be the same, like maybe it in a tweet form and all that.
And even if you're like repurposing the 3, you will take the raw content from there, but you'll be doing the design fresh and writing the caption fresh and everything.
Yeah, and out of this, like 1 I have to research, like 3 would be from their site and 1 I have to create.
Yeah, that I get it. But the 3 that are repurposed, are they
Yeah.
previous posts that will be put out, or that you'll be creating new ones for that content that is already created?
Yeah, I have to create that.
You have to create everything basically. 3 from content that they will give you, essentially from their older content of their blogs or their emails or other stuff. And 1 is completely researched online. But for everything, you need to do the creatives and you need to do the captioning.
Yeah.
And what kind of brand is it? Because that will tell you the long form or short form captions.
Yeah, that's for a business. Like what I have got, like I want to do a call with them, but I really want to have a budget in my mind so that I just qualify the leads before getting on a call. So what I have known so far is that's for a business.
It's a business, but you don't know the kind of business it's about.
No.
Okay. So you've not gotten on a call with them right now?
No, I just got it in the morning today.
So I would not recommend putting out any pricing before you exactly understand the type also, or the things that they have in their mind as well. So I would recommend qualify the lead, get their exact requirements, and then share the pricing with them. Don't share the pricing on the call with them. You can share it after the call.
Okay, so what are the basic charge for the same? I can I want
basic
to have
charge,
something in it.
Yeah, you can have an idea, but again, I would say that don't put it out there in front of them. So if you have 4 posts that you're creating for every day, and you're doing it like every day of the week, 7 days of the week,
Yeah,
that is 28 posts per week. That is a lot of content, even if part of it is repurposed.
Again, engaging also there.
Yeah, that's separate. I'm just seeing the content pieces first. That is 112 posts per month.
Yeah.
With engagement and reply. And you don't currently know how big is their audience size, because if it's a lot of audience size, the time that it will take to engage will be way more. So that is also time dependent. Ask them about these things, that how much time engagement do they need to do, because some brands want that every day you do 1 hour engagement by replying everything everywhere. Some brands would say that you reply every thing that's there, like every notification or every email comment or engagement type they've already got. You go and reply to them. You basically have to reply to all the comments now.
Yeah.
Or other sort of engagement also you have to do, like you have to initiate the engagement too.
No, only the comment.
Replying to the comments. So that would seriously depend on the time that you're investing there as well.
Yeah.
So if you're doing like 30 minutes of engagement, 5 to 6 days a week, you can charge like 7-8 grand for that per month. To, like, if it's a very basic kind of an engagement. If it's more than 30 minutes, it can go up. And other than that, for the content, it will be way more. Let me calculate it. I would say easily it would be about like 45 to 50 grand minimum.
Okay, I will
Yeah.
like have the conversation and get everything
But
clear.
don't
and
tell the pricing. I would also give you a better, clear, relatively better pricing. I can also share with you once I know. So it's good, like get on a call with them, understand the requirements, the kind of business. Because again, if you're doing long form captions, it's different. If it's short form,
Mhm.
it might actually come down from 50,000 also. If it's long, it might go up also. And sometimes, the kind of content you have to repurpose from, in that, if that is super straightforward, if they don't need carousels, even like LinkedIn also has carousels. Some people want that. Some people just want
Yeah.
text posts on LinkedIn, bigger ones, smaller ones. These things will make all the change. That's the reason I recommend custom proposals, not of putting out a random price on everything out there, because things will change. Different businesses have different requirements. So get on a call with them, get the requirements, share them with me, and then I will guide you even better. But I would say overall, if you have to even do it with a discounted rate, I would say 50 to 55,000 for everything if you are doing 30 minutes engagement with this scenario that I have currently discussed.
Thank you.
Welcome. Does replying mean to everyone or randomly to some? Yes, Monica, that actually mostly is for everyone. So essentially everyone needs to be replied in some fashion or the other. So like some people may be replied today, some might be replied tomorrow, but they do need to be replied.
Yeah, actually, I think so. The general, like, I haven't been on a call, so I'm not sure. Like, I
No,
would
she's not
definitely.
asking you. She was asking me. I
Sorry.
was telling her, because yes, you will not know until unless they tell you. Because like Monica, you're also correct in saying like super big brands, they cannot reply to everyone. So that means that you can keep a time limit and reply to some, or reply to the most, that kind of comments which will generate more engagement and get more people to comment on it. But this has to come from the brand. It can vary. But for generally small or medium businesses, you reply to everyone, because otherwise this will also help build the trust and credibility now, that people will take the time out to comment and the people get back, the brand gets back to them. So that's important. Yeah. So what do I mean by inbound lead is that the lead reaches out to you. They see your profile automatically somewhere while searching something, or they find you with a reference, or sometimes it's without reference also. But essentially, you are not doing anything to particularly reach out to them. You're just creating content. So there are two types of client attraction. One is inbound and one is outbound. Inbound is they come to you by things that you are doing, but you're not directly doing it to them or for them. Outbound is that you directly specifically reach out to people with your DMs, with your emails, which we call cold DMing or cold DMing as well. And both work really well. Both are going to be covered inside. But essentially, inbound is the technique by which you keep creating and keep building your brand, like by putting up effective content, and people start reaching out to you. The idea is like we will begin with a lot of outbound and some good consistent inbound, and then eventually your outbound can reduce and your inbound automatically compounds, and like then clients automatically come to you. You don't need to go and do outbound anymore, but it takes some time to reach that stage, but it's totally doable. That's the idea here. Okay, cool. Yes. How to deal with FOMO. Even though I know it's not ideal to take too many things at once, I still feel if I don't, I will be behind everyone, or I'm missing something very important, or it won't be available for me when I needed it. This happens with everyone, Vanisha. First of all, to deal with it, you need to understand that you're not alone in this. And by FOMO, do you mean that the kind of FOMO that you feel that, for example, 1 week you could not do a lot of implementation or learning from the program, and you feel that people are doing it, they're moving ahead, you're there? Or sometimes, you are following a particular strategy, but you see someone online doing something else. For example, say you're working on building your brand on Instagram. Sorry, but then you see people doing some cool stuff on LinkedIn and that is working for them. And you're like, shit, I'm missing out on that. I need to be there too. What kind of FOMO is it? In both the cases, I would recommend that firstly, if this is happening, the external thing is happening, that you're following a strategy and someone else is following something else, and you feel that if I don't do it right now, even if you don't have the time or the effort to do it, or you cannot invest that time or energy or focus to do it, still I would say that don't sway from your path. If you've decided something, you've started working on it, it does not matter what the other person is doing. Unfollow or mute. You don't have to look at multiple strategies, because there'll be so many different people who are doing so many different things, and sometimes we just see it from the outside and feel that, okay, wow, this works, so maybe I should stop what I'm doing and go and try that. But we don't really realize, is it actually working for them? Is it working for them in the way that they are putting it out? And is my brand exactly same as them? Or what are the things that they have done in the back end? For example, a lot of big creators outside India as well as in India sell products that are very cheap, 599, 499 only. Like, I'm not talking about even my products. I'm not even close to being that size of a creator. But a lot of people have that. And for outside people, it's like $49, $30, $27, like that. And what happens is that their entire sales are made from that. So we feel that we have to charge low or sell a product for a lower price because that's what everyone else is doing. But essentially, when you're beginning, if you really want to make money and start having a consistent monthly income, you don't have to start lowest. They are able to make money out of this, like by selling cheaper products, because they have huge audiences which they have amassed right now. And that has taken them a lot of money and effort and spending like anything. We don't really know the insides of any business by seeing things from the outside, right? So that is the reason we recommend that initially when you begin, you go high on value. So that if you go high on value, you go high on the investment that you're making, like the money that you're making out of that collaboration as well, such that even if you're working with 3 clients and each of them are paying you like 40,000-50,000, you're still making 1.5 lakh rupees. Wherein if you are selling a service or a product that costs 1,000 rupees and you have to make that same 15 like 1.5 lakhs, you have to like sell hundreds of units of the same. So this is just an example. So when we see others, we don't really know what actually works for them. And if it is demotivating you, by all means unfollow. Or if you cannot unfollow, if it's someone you know like that, you can just mute their stories, mute their content such that you don't see it and it does not distract. Whatever you're doing, be consistent with it. Don't choose things randomly, but whenever you're making those decisions, be very strategic with it. For example, I had to make this shift of the domain and everything from the Biscode to tejalchopra.com for a lot of things centered to my business and my goals. And this is something that actually I have to action. I had to action on from the past 1 month, but I was putting it out because I really wanted to be sure. It is a big change to execute for my overall business, not just the tech stuff. As you would have seen that a lot of tech stuff is also going on with the update, but it had like I had to be aligned to it. So I took my time to really finalize whether I'm doing this or I'm not doing this. Because if someone, even if it's a mentor and if they are saying, you know, go ahead and do this, I cannot close my eyes and do this. Because even if they are my mentor, even if they are making way more money than I am, they don't know my business as good as I do. They don't know where I want to go. They don't know my goals. So I would again say, even if I am telling you something, don't blindly close eyes and say, I'll follow just this strategy. See if that is aligned to the kind of content you put out. For example, if I say that, you know, you need to show up, and that is something I still recommend. But if it's something that doesn't align with you for some reason, then you can utilize strategies that don't need showing up as well. That said, once you've decided, if you are here in this program, you did your research, you signed up for it, you said yes to it, then follow everything by being consistent with it. Don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess anything else. And when it comes to dealing with FOMO, like if you're able to, if you were on pause for a week and if you feel that others are moving ahead, there are a lot of people who are behind also. They have to start. Some people are going slow, but they're going consistent. Even if you take a break for say something personal, or maybe if you really want a break and you take it, there's nothing wrong with it. Just think of the kind of momentum you'll have once you restart. So it's okay to take breaks. Don't think of it as something very wrong, and don't push yourself. I would say that would be like my 2 cents on it. I can talk a lot about this, but I feel it's like going in a lot of loops, so I'm not mentioning it again and again. But this is what it is. And if it is some other kind of FOMO, then mention it out here, Vanisha. We'd love to discuss. Yeah. Okay. What do you mean by personal brands here when you talk about entrepreneurs? Personal brands like Preksha coaches, consultants are personal brands. My brand is a personal brand. Your brand, if you are going ahead, like I recommend as Preksha, even if it's the brand name is there, I would still recommend you show up and act as a personal brand. So those who show up, those who create content aligned with building that leadership in that domain so that people trust them, they're not just logos, they're real people who are showcasing. A lot of authors and fitness coaches, nutritionists are also personal brands. Some people who use a company name instead of their name, like for example, if Aman decides to go ahead with using the company name and not by showcasing a lot, like even if it's a very rare picture of her, then it's not a personal brand. But in case you, even if you're using a company name and you go ahead by creating content, by showing up, whether it's via stories, whether it's via pieces of content, and you share your like the personality bit of your journey as well, then you're a personal brand. But a lot of niches like healers, like wellness coaches, like coaches you want to work with are also personal brands. There's no question as silly, so don't worry about it. How do I make sure I get up early? It's really difficult to sleep before 12 a.m. though, currently waking up at 9 a.m. So do you want to like sleep early and wake up early, or do you want to sleep at 12 a.m. and then wake up earlier than 9 a.m.? You can chat it out or you can unmute.
Yeah, so maybe it's really difficult to sleep before 12, so I cannot actually prepone my sleep timings, but would definitely like to prepone my wake up timings.
So like you're okay, because I would recommend 7 to 8 hours of sleep is good, even though I'm not someone to actually guide you on this, because last night I was like up till 4 a.m.
I agree with that. 7 to 8 hours
but is good. So 8 a.m. can be good for you. So I would recommend that some things that I do to shift my routines from like really late night to morning times is that sometimes, you try forcefully to sleep a little early initially, even if it's okay. Like you can bring from 12 to 9 ka cycle to 12 to 7:30 or 8. That will also be good for your health. Otherwise, it'll not be wrong. So even if you wake up eventually at 7:30 or 8 a.m., it's fine. So one thing you can do is if it is difficult for you to go to sleep before 12 a.m., you start pushing it slightly by utilizing things or doing things in a way, like for example, having your dinner slightly early. Because if you don't sleep after having your dinner after a few hours, you will start to feel hungry, and then you have to eat again, and then the cycle goes on. So if you have your dinner slightly earlier than you normally do, like if you have at 9 a.m., have at 8:30, have at 8, so that also triggers things. And try to shift your entire body clock in that kind of a fashion. That earlier, what used to happen is we used to change times on our clocks itself. Like we can change things on our clock or our watches to 11:30, such that whenever it is 12 there, it is actually 11 or 11:30 here. But nowadays it's not possible because all our digital devices are also synced like that. But the other thing that you can do is actually start pushing this thing up. Like instead of 9 a.m., start putting up an alarm for 8:45 and have that as a goal for 1 week, that I have to wake up at 8:45, which is just 15 minutes. If you actually think of it, if I have to shift from 9 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., it will always make me not want to actually try it out. But if it's like just a 15-minute thing, so I can try sleeping 15 minutes early and start waking 15 minutes early. And even if I cannot sleep 15 minutes early, I can try to wake up just 15 minutes early. So if you have your alarm for 9 currently, you put it up at 8:45. If you have it at 8:45 such that you wake up by 9, it takes you 15 minutes to do that switch, then you can put up 15 minutes early. So do it like with every week or every 2 weeks for that matter. Just change things by 15 minutes. And even if you come to 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m., that's okay. You don't need to go beyond that for that. And if you are someone who works really cool at night, like if you're working at night and if your schedule is like that, there's nothing wrong with it. Don't push it beyond it, because I know family members must be saying things, as mine do too. But
no,
otherwise,
actually, I don't work. I do time pass, like watch. I mean, the whole day goes by working and like managing stuff for other people, for clients.
It's
for
like
myself,
your me time.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Don't push it to beyond 12 a.m. But 9 a.m. wale ka thoda sa you push to commit to finally, like after doing 4 weeks of 15-minute shifts, come to 8 a.m. Then that's fine.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, try it out, the 15-minute thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What are the charges that graphic designers charge for visual branding? I do get small orders like just logo design or brochure design. How can we charge for these things? Logo design and all, like I would branding people generally have a wide variety. They go from charging from somewhere about 3,000, 5,000 for logos, 7,000 for logos, depending upon the kind of variations you give to them also and the kind of complexity you want to do. If you're doing basic logo design, you can start with 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 for that matter. Till you become really confident with it. Once you start doing that, you can even increase your prices. But I would say 3.5 is a good place to start for the logo part of it. And as far as the brochure design goes, then it really depends on how long it is, how complex is it something you enjoy, is it something you're already good at, is it something you'd like to become very good at. then you can start taking up these projects also. If it's like a 3-page brochure, generally brochures are like this. So if it's like 3 or 4 slides of it, based on how much visual design goes into it, you can charge. So I would say again, somewhere around 5K, 6K if it's a simple brochure. If it's slightly even more complex and it has multiple sides to it, then you can go up to 10K, 12K too. As in when you start working with clients and you do some work and then you become more confident and gain more experience, you can charge more also. But you can start, if it's a simple brochure, start with 5,000, 6,000. And if it's a simple logo, you start with 3,000.
Okay, so I have done this in the past, like 3-4 clients, and people have really liked my work, but I don't know, somehow I don't have the courage to actually increase my pricing. So currently I'm charging around 1,500 for one logo. So yeah. So I don't know how should I increase it, because the other day I was talking to someone, like I was designing her logo. I gave her around 7 to 8 variations and she liked all of them. So that is why she was saying, and she's actually a trosso packager who packages all the trosso and all. So she wanted some designs for her notes as well, like if it's a wedding, so to put in small cards or something like that inside the trosso.
Oh, nice.
So
I'd love to see these designs that you've created. So if you don't mind me sharing, show them to me.
I just designed the logo. She didn't actually tell me to design this trosso, because I told her that I need a reference, like, because on the basis of that, how much inputs I have to put in. Only on that I'll be able to tell you what kind of charge I mean, what can I charge you, because I need to see a reference. Like, she's saying that it will be a simple design, but I said still I will need,
yeah. So she wants to put it in cards or somewhere else?
No, not cards, like, so trosso, and see, as these she's a packager basically. So when we have weddings and all, we gift pack every like little stuff, and what do you say, create a hamper kind of a thing. So she does all of that. So she wants to put some kind of cards or design cards in those kind of things, I guess. She didn't send me a
basic
reference.
Designs.
Yeah, she didn't.
You can find these references on Pinterest. Send gift tags for baskets or wedding baskets or some other stuff. Use Pinterest for it, or use other branding pages. So these big brands who do this wedding stuff, Ajkal, if you would have seen, there are like a lot of e-cards being designed. So there's this brand also which you can check out. I don't know if they do this particular thing. It's Salt something. I'll try to find it later. That's a personal brand I know, and the founder also. Salt and Co, I think. So they do something in this graphic design studio specialized in branding. They do a lot for weddings. So you can check it out if you get an idea from there. But I'd love to see what kind of logos you've designed for them. As far as the pricing goes, see, it really depends. If you're giving them 7 to 8 variations of the same, and then some revisions also, it should definitely be more. And if you're doing great work already, so I don't see, like, 3K is a very basic price point for a logo. If you're doing a brand board for someone, then start with 7,000, 8,000, even 10,000 is fine. By brand board, I mean you have typography, you have logo, you have a submark. Research it up on submark. Submark is a part of it. Some brands don't need a submark, some brands do, so you can use that. But other than that, the things that we've discussed, so color palette, a logo, the typography that you're using, some sample graphics, so that people can use that board entirely. Like, I think Anu had also put up her brand board. You can find many on Canva, so they can be designed in that fashion. And if you are doing a brand board, you can charge 7,000, 8,000 easily for it. But all I'll say, everyone is currently, like you're saying, you've done this thing, you've practiced, and people like it as well, so you're good at it. So keep practicing, become even better. And since you are already doing good, you can increase your charges with every client, or every 3 clients for that matter. If you feel with every client.
I've done all of these things just on Canva. Like, I don't have a degree, or I don't know how to use Photoshop or everything like that, but I do it
works
on
amazingly
Canva.
well. If you understand basic design, Canva can help you create anything, absolutely anything. I have done cards for my friend. She had some professional do it. The photographer really messed it up, and it was so bad that we were literally crying. So we were like, she was like, hey, you know this stuff a little better. I was like, yeah, I have a team who does it. I don't do it anymore. She's like, no, let's do it. She took me to a cafe and we designed her entire wedding card, like in Canva.
Yeah.
I've
also done
so
that.
It's like, exactly. So, I mean, everything can be done. Even if you're a Canva designer, it doesn't mean that you have to charge less than what other people do. Definitely
Okay.
using other tools or having a degree gives you different perspective. But if you're experimenting, if you're good at design, if you're practicing, you become even better. So you can charge based on the results that you're bringing. If you're getting
Okay.
good results, then it doesn't matter if it's Canva or Photoshop or any other third tool.
Got it.
Super. I'd like to see those logos if you're okay. By the way, share them.
Sure, will do.
Super. Thank you for your feedback on my previous color palette, created graphics and all for this orange blue palette. But again and again, I was inclined more towards purple. Perfect. So Monica, if you like purple, by all means, go ahead with purple. I think from the previous two, the previous two brand boards you shared, purple was not a part of any of them. And for that, I like the orange blue palette more than the other one. But I think purple is looking amazingly well. So what will be your overall brand board for it? It will be purple, white, and I think yellow. Mostly from the colors that I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's mostly purple and white. And in white, I'll be using more of yellow or pastel shades to design.
No, I love it. I love the color and the vibe that it is. Purple was one of my favorite colors. So I like it personally.
Okay.
But from this perspective of how is it looking visually, it's looking really nice. I love the way in which you have used this tone. This is Brittany, na, from what I remember. I think it's Brittany.
Yeah.
And then this is going up in this kind of a fashion. So I love the up kind of thing that you put with this up arrow, like the symbolism there. I love it. It's looking nice. It's going well. Even the graphics. I had actually just seen it before the call. I thought I'll reply to it after call because I did not have the time, but it's looking nice. It's looking amazing. Like when you're designing, of course, you can try to experiment more with it. For example, this one I feel would be better in totally like all caps on. Oh my God, that word just exited my mind. But yeah, all caps on would be better for this. But otherwise, the graphics are pretty nice. You're good at design already.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I think you should run with this. This is looking very nice. And if it's something that feels good to you as well, because our brand is about us and how we feel and how we want to make people feel. If it's aligning with you, it's looking nice from the consumer perspective. So you can go ahead with it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Welcome. You discussed about one-liner hook website in first call. If it's available, please let us know. And if possible, you could share mind map of content strategy of product-based business. I did not get what you mean by this, Ashish. Could you specify it? And if you could share mind map of content strategy of product-based business, like what do you mean by this? Because this entire video is already up. I would love to get some idea on that. What do you mean by both of those things? And meanwhile, I have some other things to check, so I'll just quickly review them. No worries, Siley. I think you've dropped. You can check it later. Monica, logo's done. Preksha, we want to come to your eye help and discuss that. Aman, logo's done. Siley, pricing done. Okay. Super. So these were some additional things that I had in mind. We'll come to Preksha's eye help. Meanwhile, you can tell me, Ashish, if you're here. We'll see. This is, I think, the current comments that you guys have put. Just a second. Preksha, yeah, let's first start by that particular thing, which I was saying, which was related to that coaches and brands are two words that are not going together. So if I say coaches, consultants, and other personal brands, or coaches and consultants, those two things flow. But when I'm saying coaches and brands, it's somewhat not making sense together. So it can be brands independently or business
good
owners.
idea, right?
Entrepreneurs is a good idea. Business owners is a good idea if you want to use. If you want to say just personal brands, because a lot of people are personal brands, you can say that. But if you want to be experimentative, entrepreneurs or business owners, keeping it slightly generic is good in the beginning.
Yeah.
The first thing.
Yeah.
That is the reason. And I had some ideas for you. So in terms of the business owners, like we were discussing currently about personal brands also and other businesses in terms of entrepreneurs. Now it will show me all the old things. That's the reason I don't like this search. Yes. I think this is it now. Like, yes. So now the kind of entrepreneurs that you want to work with or that you've worked with in the past, from their perspective, what is it you think they want? Like, what is something they ask you for if they have to come to you?
Usually Instagram management and engagement, basically.
They want to ask for engagement, like they don't
Yes.
ask you for sales or leads?
No.
Okay. Then we can actually use that part only. Like for Instagram management, if they're using that word, you use that word. Content creation is anyway something that you're doing for Instagram. If you really enjoy Instagram, you want to keep your focus on it, then you can begin with it and keep that in here. But you can, if engagement is something they want, then you can bring the engagement here. Like build really engaged or
content
attract
creation
followers
I
that
do
engage with your
for
content.
so I work with a nutritionist as well, so I do content creation for her.
Content creation is anyways a part of Instagram management also, no?
Yes.
By default. It's like it's a subset of Instagram management.
Yeah.
Visual branding, I think you wanted to mention because you're doing those projects already.
Yes.
So it's nice. I help brands, coaches. So like I would say, I help entrepreneurs building an online presence, attract their ideal followers, or build an engaged community with content creation, visual branding, Instagram management. And your call to action can be slightly more powerful than DM to know more. It can be DM to start a conversation, or
but I have
DM to character space. Yeah, I know that. So you can actually, the brands and coaches ko hata ke, you can keep entrepreneurs and create some variations by growing their business also. I think, like I was telling Saili also, no, even though the challenge in Instagram bio is way more because the character space is a limit, but I would still like to see you infuse some personality in there. So that's the reason I was using the words boost their online presence or something else with respect to it. But because growing their business is slightly generic.
Yeah.
Specifically, as
that's what I was
here.
confused with earlier. Like I had mentioned in my first post itself, like that what is the point B that I'm taking there?
Yeah. As this, it was even making sense because it was the overall thing. I think you had changed it to this because overall it was making sense like an I help statement. But when you change things up to, just a second. Yeah. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Like you guys. Okay, super. So I would say again, play with it a little in terms of I help entrepreneurs stand out online or build a super strong, not super, of course, we cannot use those words here, build a strong online presence or build a super engaged community or attract followers and get engagement. Basically, in all, you are saving people a lot of their time also. A lot of people don't know how to do Instagram management, how to do content creation. Some people know these things, but don't have the time to do it themselves because as business owners, everyone is busy. So you are saving them time also. Some people like to put this time part also in their bio, some don't. It's okay. But essentially, it's not the case that everything needs to be conveyed here. So even if you make this crisper and remove a few things, you can put them up here in the services you provide. For example, the visual branding part also, I would say keep it in your bio. Don't take it out because you're doing this currently. But elaboration on that can be put in the services highlight. But content creation and IG management is somewhat, I would say it's like it has a lot of overlap. So if you want to remove one of these and keep the other, then you can keep the other. When it's content creation also, you can say strategic content instead of content creation. So I would say just infuse some more personality into it and grow their business is okay as a goal, but it's not somewhat flowing here for this bio part. As in I help, it's still okay. But as the bio, it's not. And sometimes if you have to shorten up things, instead of saying I help in your bio, you can also say helping. This is like just a hack to opposite. Because of course it'll have the same character space available, but helping entrepreneurs do this because the entire statement changes if it goes from I help to helping. So sometimes it helps you cut a certain characters. So it makes things flow differently. You can try out like 2 or 3 variations of the same.
Like I changed the emojis as well, which I use because certain emojis take up like more space. Yeah.
it's okay. You can change the emojis also a little. Sometimes like DM to no more may, instead of the heart or the email, you can change the call to action a little and then just have the pointer emoji.
Yeah.
If you are having DMs, if you have a call booking system, then you can say book a free 20-minute call or something of that sort. Because the reason is that bio is very effective, but your bio is the overall thing. This is just the description part of it. So your highlights will also be your bio, your link will also be your bio. And if you have a link that is really important, like if you have your calendar link there so that people can book a call, then your call to action, if it will take slightly more character space, it's okay to do that, and it's okay to cut short your bio a little. But the idea is that your bio still makes sense to our ideal followers, to people who are going to come. We want them to hit the follow button, if not directly book with us. But for those of us who are already, for those of the audiences who are already following you, or who are coming to your profile for the first time and really want to book a call immediately, they should have those options available.
Got it.
So I would say keep visual branding, keep content creation. You can even put them in a single line with dots. Some people like for their bio to flow like this. Some people like their bio to flow like this. Whatever makes sense for you. I help statement to slightly we change. It's okay if we don't have everything of your I help statement in your bio, but just the most important part with Preksha, with like your personality.
Yeah, got it.
And you can make one or two edits. The reason I'm not doing it for you is that it will not be your statement. I can help you modify it like I'm telling you right now. And even if you have a final version, I can change it up slightly, but I still want you to feel connected to it. It should be yours.
Yeah.
Understood. So just you can do it and change it.
Sure.
Super. Awesome. So I think we're done. I'll just see the chat for any questions. I think Pramila had put a question. Pramila, are you here? Okay, yeah, I see you. I haven't been able to create any content yet for my SMM page, I think. Other than my intro post, it just seems to be broad that I don't know what to create on. Maybe because I have been working with a product for a year, so I find it very easy to use all your strategies to that page. Think of it from this perspective. If you want to, Pramila, use your SMM page as an example. So what have you done on your what have you done on your product page that has worked amazingly for you? So what would you suggest to another product business? What can they do? Think of it from that perspective. So whatever learnings you have from your own experience with the product page, you share those here to begin with. You can even target product businesses initially and eventually broaden your scope to actually get into other kind of services too. Like you were saying that you want to work with consultants and coaches and other industries eventually. That's nice, but currently you do have credibility. You understand the product market, so you can use your experience there. Think of it from that perspective, and then start producing content. That's what I would recommend. Like if you are to guide another product-based business with respect to their social media, their Instagram, what can you guide them on? Or what question did you have in your head when you started, or even a few months ago, if you were feeling that this is not working for me, how should I do this? So pick up a question, like for example, how to get more clicks, how to get more reach, or for that matter, 5 mistakes. So you can share your mistakes. So 5 mistakes a product business is making on Instagram, 5 mistakes jewelry business is making on Instagram. So those kind of things you can start creating from your own experience. And secondly, use this particular sheet that I've created for you and this entire lesson of content planning, the one that I told you about. You will exactly know, like once you do the research of your ideas, how can you plan your entire week with it? So once you've shared an introduction post, that is particularly your personal post. So what can you share otherwise? You can share something that is inspirational for product-based businesses. You can share something that is your experience or your learnings from your product page. That can be educational piece of content. So likewise, utilize those things, research on ideas, and then bring those things together. But definitely once you start creating, the flow will automatically come. Currently what happens is that is a familiar zone. To create content for the product page is a familiar zone. This is not. So this is what is stopping you. It just has to be that you have to break off, start, and things will start to flow. Super. Is there any other question you guys have? You can put it up here. Pramila, Airtable is not a scheduler. Airtable is a planner. So currently with the free version of Airtable, you cannot schedule content, but scheduling becomes super easy once you have everything planned. You just copy and paste things in the scheduling tools that I'll share with you. So don't worry about it. You can use later. You can use Facebook free tool also. Facebook Creator Studio is there, which is organic Facebook's tool, and you can use it to schedule content very easily. So I will share more with you on that. But Airtable is a planner tool. You can add it with another app and actually use it to schedule content also, but part of it becomes paid, which I've not needed till now. So you'll also not need it. Super. Guys, if there is a question, just say I have a question. Otherwise, we will end.
This is Namrata. Can you check my comments?
Hey, Namrata. Yes, yes, yes. I had written your name also here. I forgot. Do you mean your iHelp statement, right? I wanted to review your iHelp statement. Or
Yes,
is there
yes.
some...
No, I help statement.
I'll just go there.
No, it's a different post.
Yeah, I remember. I was just zooming out. I'd actually opened it somewhere here. I had seen your post today itself, and I was like, I have to answer this also. And I had opened it from my end, but it did not open. Yes. How does this sound? Helping businesses in strategic social media management, project management, personal branding, YouTube management. Book a free 30-minute call. Linktree with Calendly link, portfolio, list of services, testimonials. Namrata, do you want to grow as a VA or as a specific domain expert? Like, what do you have in mind currently?
I don't mind VA because currently I'm doing like project management for Leela. So I'm managing her clients as a VA.
And what
Even
are you
I was
doing?
asking you that day that should I remove a VA directly from my post?
No,
Like
it's
from
okay.
Insta.
A lot of people use the word VA also. And that's the reason I asked you, because you're doing project management, personal branding, and YouTube management and social media management. So it's like a lot you're doing. So it kind of sometimes dilutes the expertise that you have and that you showcase.
Yes.
So that is something I have in mind. Originally, if you were to go by things that I say, even if you're doing multiple things, you can highlight by being the domain expert of one. But initially, if you want to experiment with these services and see, maybe if your mojo lies in project management itself, then you can brand yourself as a project management manager eventually, instead of being a social media marketer. And you can
But
utilize your own
currently
social
I'm
media.
only handling one project, right? So
I'm not
that's why
saying do it right now. I'm saying maybe eventually. So if you want to do
later.
multiple things right now, you can run with VA. But eventually, I do recommend picking up one thing and becoming the expert, because you give the better, like you give a better solution and you get paid for it in a better way as well. So it's like both of those things together. So helping businesses in strategic social media management, project management. I don't think the character space would be enough for it, right? For bio, it'll be,
Yes, yes.
it's more.
So I think I'll remove project management.
You can keep if you want to do it. How are you liking it? What are the roles and responsibilities you're doing in project management?
Currently I'm handling her clients.
Her clients as how? Like, are you dealing with them, managing them?
No,
Doing
I'm doing the email management part also. I'm doing a scheduling post for her.
Okay. Okay, multiple admin stuff also, and otherwise.
Yes. And she's telling me that maybe she'll give me more work like within this month.
Because I don't think all of what that you mentioned falls under project management. So research a little on project management and get clear if this is aligning to what you're doing. Otherwise, you can take off project management, and your iHelp statement can be not like the SMM and the project management or the personal branding. YouTube actually can come under social media management also. So you don't need to have that separate. When you're putting up your services now, there you can say that Instagram content creation or Instagram marketing, or you can say YouTube management, those sort of things in your services highlight. But otherwise, in your bio, if even you've mentioned social media management, that counts for YouTube also. So you can choose to remove it. If YouTube is something you specifically want to highlight, then only keep it. But otherwise, like if it's there as your services, it will still flow, because when someone goes through your profile, you automatically have content there that is relevant to YouTube also, like checklists and other stuff. So it makes it very clear that you like help people with YouTube too, and it will be there in your services also. So if you want, you can remove it from here. Project management, do a little deep dive if this is something that you're doing or you'd be interested in doing. If you are not doing most of what is there in project management, you can remove it for now and keep the rest. And your iHelp statement can be helping businesses with like
get some result, like shine on social media.
Can you check my second comment, like second option?
I've checked it, but I'm not getting it. Could you elaborate? Instead of leverage,
Martin told me the leverage word is not good. So I like, instead of leverage, can we write grow or thrive?
Yeah.
Grow or thrive on Instagram.
Leverage Instagram and YouTube. I help. Leverage for what is my question? So overall, if you see as an I help statement, this is like not thinking of it as from Instagram perspective, I would say this is overall an I help statement, and it's a good I help statement. It just needs certain optimization to actually mention what is the end goal, like what is the customer, where do they want to go, the client or the customer. So that is missing from this statement. But otherwise, this can be an I help statement because you are taking off their time, their daily tasks from their plate, and you're saving them a lot of time. So instead of saying it like this, you can say, take time, get time back to work on your real business or other stuff as well. But that can be a good I help statement by certain modifications. But for your bio, it needs to be crisper. So some parts of your I help statement can be removed in the bio because bio cannot hold everything. But otherwise, if you have a full I help statement, that can help you see things very clearly as to what are you wanting to do with your business. And you can make changes to these statements as well. But Instagram may everything cannot come because of course we have that character space problem. So instead of leverage, grow or thrive on Instagram or YouTube. And third point, I'll remove and add project management. Project management ka to maine bataya, you first go and check it, like if it's aligning with you or not. But other than that, first write your full I help statement, which I feel this one is actually about 60 to 70% is good. You just need to slightly optimize it. What is the end goal? If you're helping someone leverage Instagram and YouTube, what will be their result? Like you are saying grow or thrive on Instagram and YouTube. That is okay, Firbi. But do they want this? Like, do customers come to you for this?
I think building a strong presence and engaged community, this will become a lot, like for Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram ke liye to be a lot, it's not needed. But otherwise, you can like first, that is the reason I'm saying first modify it to create your I help statement. From that, we'll pick up pieces and make a bio.
Okay, fine.
Okay. So this is good. I help businesses, I help business owners, I help small business owners, I help personal brands, I help entrepreneurs. Like if you're using leverage is not a wrong word, but leverage ke saath we need to tell, like they're leveraging this for what. So I help business owners leverage Instagram to grow their business, to get more sales, to get more clients, or build a strong Instagram presence, or scale on Instagram and YouTube. Like growing and thriving are still better words instead of leverage if you don't want to use a third thing. But building a genuine community is that kind of thing that I'm talking about. But is it all they want? Because like Preksha was saying, people ask her for engagement. So a genuine community, engaged community are important. But you see from your perspective, like from Leela's perspective, with the kind of work she has you do, what are her goals currently?
She only made like stories. She wants the stories are for engagement, right?
What are her goals with her Instagram right now? Not what you're doing primarily, but she might have told you now, okay, this is what I want to establish. That's the reason you will keep those things in mind when you're creating.
She has changed her niche right now, right? She has become a launch strategist right now. So she wants to, establish this new niche.
So building a strong online presence or building a genuine community or building an engaged community will resonate way more with her kind, like the kind of clients that the kind of client she is. If you want to find similar clients, these things will resonate more with them than getting leads or sales. So I think you can go ahead with building a genuine community, like utilizing that as the B part of the transformation, or building an engaged community, or building a strong online presence, or building a strong presence on Instagram and YouTube. But first, build out this I help statement. It can be longer also. It does not have a character space limit, but it mostly has to convey everything you want, and like we can remove the extra parts from it. So take time off all your daily tasks from your plate. Take all of your daily tasks from your plate is also kind of good. But you see, if you want to frame it like this, or by in the other way in which you can frame it is that, get time back to work on your business, or I help you, give you time, or something of that sort, or take off all your daily tasks. I think like when I'm reading it, it's becoming a little tongue twisty. So you can just optimize this statement also a little. But otherwise, it's like you mean right. I like all of these things you've mentioned. They just need to be twisted and made to work together in a good fashion. That's what it is. And once you have that ready, like I'm saying, that we can make it just crisper and keyword based and make sense when it comes to your Instagram, because that is 125 character space.
Okay.
And
And
Linktree,
Linktree is a good idea or no? Yes.
Linktree works well in general cases. But if you want people to just book a call to begin there, then have just one link. Because what happens sometimes is that a confused customer doesn't buy. If we give them a lot of options, say maybe they're ready to book a call. But if they open the link and they see other things, they might go to your list of services. Maybe they want a very specific thing that you do, but the way in which you have written, they might not get it. Because a lot of clients don't get the tech terms that we use. For example, discovery call also is something that we know, but clients don't know that I have to go on a discovery call until and unless they are from business niches. Say it's a product business, they don't even know that I have to go on a discovery call, or what is a discovery call, what is a consultation call, what's a free strategy call. So like making it simpler for the clients is important. So sometimes what happens is we are trying to pack too much, and like they kind of get confused because of the same. So I would say that having a link tree is not a problem. But if you have a focus right now and you want people to book calls, see, the whole idea is right now when you get on calls, you get to understand different businesses, you get to close different kind of clients, and you get to experiment. Once that happens, you have a system, you can change all of the things that we are discussing right now to be specific to only certain type of clients. That will happen once you have worked with certain clients, like some number of clients. After that happens, everything will be so like fitting with each other that even if you have a link tree, your client will not get confused because your messaging will be correct for them. Cool. So I would say initially you can skip without a link tree, or even if you have a link tree, it should be just the link and then your testimonials. But in case you don't, then a Calendly link is good enough to begin with. You can have parts of your portfolio in a way, like in a visual way over your feed, spread across, or in your highlights. Then list of services directly you can specify in your highlights, like a highlight specifically can be related to the service. With every service, you give it testimonial, like one testimonial. One can be just client wins or client results. So these things, like your highlights, are also a part of your bio. That's the reason it's good to have multiple things there, because that's a visual choice. But once someone is clicking on the link, they're ready to book a call, we don't want to stop them.
Okay, so I'll only book a 30 minutes call, book a free 30-minute call.
That is fine. Absolutely. That is good as a call to action. And then the above thing we would optimize and make it crisper once we have the final I help statement. So you just finalize your I help statement, put it up there. We make any tweaks if they are needed, and then we'll just take out the important parts of it and put it up as your bio.
Okay, so
but
can
this
we
is a good place to begin with.
Like how I've put personal branding, build a genuine community, take off daily tasks. Can we put like building a strong online presence, engage community, and take off all your things from your plate? So can we put these three things and
The
remove
whole
personal?
idea, see, this will not, I think again, the space will be a problem for that. So when you're putting it across now, it needs to be that here the statement needs to be, I help you do this or this, or I help businesses do this or reach this or get this and blah, blah, blah. So this thing, if this is your main transformation point, it needs to come here. And then the other 2 pointers can be basic bullets that you do help people with. For example, like I help entrepreneurs get more clients. That can be one statement. And if I do sales funnel coaching or consultation separately, I can add them as separate pointers in my bio. Or if I want to share something different from my facet, like from my personality, if I want to add something there, I can add it as a separate point. It does not have to all flow together. So this does not have to flow like this completely. It just needs to be like this statement needs to be complete in itself. And then there can be multiple pointers. For example, if this build a genuine community is placed here and made some tweaks to it, then personal branding can be a part of it if it makes sense for you. Or this can be slightly again optimized to make it lesser in character space if it's your Instagram. And if you want, you can add one more thing. If project management still makes sense, you can add that. So like that, you can have multiple pointers here. That is no problem. But this statement needs to be complete in itself, even if it's a short one. Helping dash, do dash. As simple as that.
Okay, yeah, got it.
Yeah. Just create it. Whenever you create it, just tag me. I will edit it.
Yes.
Super. Awesome, you guys. This has been amazing. The recording is already available in the group, so you can check it out if you like have to check or back on anything, or if someone who's not seen it already can see it. But my whole pointer is I do want you to start celebrating your wins, whether it's personal wins or professional wins or anything. And if it's a part of something that we can discuss and celebrate with you, then definitely go and put it up in my post today. Super. Take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening and the weekend that's starting tomorrow. A long weekend is coming. Enjoy and have a great time. I'll see you. And I don't know where to stop it from. Okay, cool.